Hey everyone, welcome back to Night Owl Video. Thank you for tuning in today. Today is a thrifting haul, as you can see by my large stack of discs and one VHS. And I even have some music, and I even have a book to show you. Yeah, I don't read a lot of books, but I did buy a book. So I hope you'll stick around. I'll show you what I found. I haven't done a thrifting haul for a long time because honestly, it's been really slim pickings, and I'm not talking a country singer. It's been just kind of dire around here. So I did go to a different store that I don't normally frequent, a charity shop, and I found a couple of cool things. And so I've been kind of letting it build up a little bit. I did get some vinyl as well over the last month, but I think I'm just going to leave that out. I do have some music to show you, but the vinyl, mostly it's like Ventures records, or I did get one cool Marvin Gaye record, but I don't. Yeah, it would just be kind of crazy, and it's hard to show them on the camera and stuff. So anyway, I know y'all are here for the movies anyway, so we'll get to those in a minute. But first, let's start off with some music. The first thing I found, which is really cool, which I've never ever seen in my life, I didn't even know it existed, and that is the Buddy Holly Story soundtrack. This is Gary Busey singing Buddy Holly from the motion picture soundtrack from the year 1978. Yes, kids, way back in the 1970s, my era. And the Buddy Holly story, I've talked a bit about it on my channel. I don't think I've done a review of it yet, but it's a great movie. I love that movie. I know there's some of you out there who are saying yes, but Night Owl Video, this movie is not historically accurate. And yes, I know there's some things in the film that don't line up with Buddy Holly's actual life, including the fact that he plays a Fender Telecaster in the film, and Buddy Holly never played a Telecaster. He only played Stratocasters, to my knowledge anyway. But the film is fun. Now, I've been thinking a lot about this because I've been listening to a lot of like blues and rock and roll recently. That's that time of year I like to listen to some more upbeat music. You know, the prog rock and the metal. That's my kind of winter music. My sort of more uh, cerebral. In the spring, when the sun is shining and the trees are turning green and things are coming back to life, I want to listen to something light and upbeat. And so I've been listening to a lot of, well, blues you wouldn't necessarily say is light and upbeat, but the old rock and roll gets me going. And so this is my time of year to listen to a lot of that stuff. So that said, I was really excited to find this. Now this tape is this is put out by a company in London, um, London, England, and the tape company is called Chevron Tape Records Distribution. So I have never seen this. I didn't even know there was an actual legit soundtrack. I I just took a wild guess when I was at the store. This is probably going to be like recordings of Buddy Holly, like Buddy Holly's greatest hits. But no, it's actually Gary Busey singing on this tape. Super cool. There's a little, what does it say? Cassette storage tape case, Cascade 34, as advertised on TV. So kids, back in the day when you bought your little cassette tapes, like these, you'd get a little cassette carrying case and you put all your tapes into it, and that's how you carry your tapes around. Yes, I'm being cheeky. But yeah, this is I looked this up on Discogs. There's apparently a cassette with black lettering and a cassette with blue lettering. I got the blue lettered cassette. It comes in this cool red case. I put it on as soon as I got home because I was so excited to listen to this, and yeah, it's great. It's great. This has a lot of the great hits on it, as well as some lesser known tracks. Now, the thing I really love is, if you've seen that film, Buddy Holly plays in a roller rink at the beginning of the film, and he does a song called Mockingbird Hill, which is not his song. I think it's a cover. I don't know who sang it originally, but he also does Rock Around with Ollie V and That'll Be the Day. And that's my favorite, one of my absolute favorite scenes in the movie is him playing in the roller rink. It's being broadcast live over the radio station, and you can tell I'm really excited about this. And they don't want him to play bop music, which is, later was sort of became affectionately known as rock and roll, but bop music. And so he starts out with Mockingbird Hill, which I love that song. And then he goes into Rock Around with Ollie V, and That'll Be the Day. And the energy is so frenetic in that scene. It's so exciting. All the kids, they're in the roller rink. They're on their little roller skates. They're going around in circles listening to Mockingbird Hill. And then as soon as Buddy Holly decides, let's do some bop. Any boppers out there? And when they break into that song, all the kids get really excited. And it's like, this was the energy of the original rock and roll. I've spent 5 minutes talking about this soundtrack alone, so we got to move on, but great find. I don't know if this is available on vinyl, but I would love to find the record. The next thing up, I got very on a very different spectrum, but I got Genesis Foxtrot. This is the definitive edition remaster. This is Genesis from the 70s, which is a band I didn't really like until like last year, honestly. If I'm being totally honest, I'm not being a hipster. Like, oh, I've always liked Genesis. No. Because when I was a teenager, Genesis put out the song Mama, which I thought was really cool when I was like 12 or 13. But now when I listen to old Genesis, I'm like, oh. So this, of course, has Steve Hackett on guitar, Phil Collins on drums, Peter Gabriel on lead vocals, Michael Rutherford on bass, and Tony Banks on organ. I've only listened to this album once, to be honest, Foxtrot. It was pretty good on first listening. I'm sure when I go into my fall and winter cerebral zone, I will give that a deeper dive. Again, we're flipping back and forth here, but the Stooges, self-titled from 1970, I believe. This was reissued in the year 1987 by Elektra Asylum, but this is the original Stooges album. I used to have an original pressing on vinyl. In my great vinyl purge of 2010, unfortunately I lost that record, but I'm glad to re-add this to my collection. I got both of these, Genesis and the Stooges, at Sunrise Records in Dartmouth, Nova Scotia. Shout out to my new friend Chris, who works there. Had a great conversation about music. Next thing up I got was Blood Incantation. This is the album they put out last year called Absolute Elsewhere. Now we're really like jumping all over the genres because the next one up is also very different, but yeah, really glad to add this to my collection. I found this at Fanfare Records in New Minas, Nova Scotia. Right cool store out there. Shout out to Jody, who runs the shop. This is the newest album from Blood Incantation. It is a mix of prog rock and ambient and all kinds of really cool sounds. There's even like this weird little, like, it almost reminds me of the Police a little bit, like almost like a, not reggae straight out, but sort of like that, like 80s 80s Police vibes. I don't know. This band is all over the place, and that's okay with me. And I'm trying to remember, there was like some other dudes on this album, I think, wasn't there? I'm sure my friend Tyler is watching this and saying, "Oh my God, Stephanie." Just hold on here, because they had special guests. Thorsten Qualschning. No, I don't know. Who was it? This is gonna drive me crazy now. I thought somebody like I thought it was like some famous prog rock people were on this album. Maybe I'm dreaming. I don't know. You can leave it in the comments below. But what's interesting about this CD too is, I don't know if you'll be able to see it on camera, but when I was putting it on to listen to, I noticed that the graphics are on the inside of the sleeve as well, which is kind of cool. You know, see that a lot. But yeah, this is a cool album. I've listened to this probably half a dozen times now, and I do enjoy it. If you like death metal mixed with prog, mixed with ambient, mixed with like so many different kinds of styles in here. But yeah, this is a great little album. It's only 2 tracks, The Stargate and The Message. Okay, and then we're going really different again, but I found this at a local charity shop. This is Rock and Roll The Early Days. This is a compilation put out by, I don't know who put this out. No, RCA Records, yeah. There's some liner notes on the inside. This is a cool little compact disc. It has... it's like early versions of some of the songs you probably know quite well by other artists. The Chords with Shaboom Shaboom, great little tune. Wynonie, Mr. Blues Harris doing Good Rockin' Tonight, which of course later got covered by Elvis Presley and became a hit. What else is on here? Willie Mae, Big Mama Thornton is on here. Thornton with Hound Dog, another song made famous by Elvis. Big Joe Turner with Shake, Rattle, and Roll. Bill Haley and the Comets, We're Gonna Rock Around the Clock. And then it goes more into like this, the Elvis, Carl Perkins, Chuck Berry, Bo Diddley, Little Richard, and Jerry Lee Lewis, topping it all off with Great Balls of Fire. Yeah, so this is early rock and roll, and then like some early, what I guess like more like R&B, and then it eventually morphed into rock and roll. Cool. I listened to it in the car on the way back from the charity shop. Sounds great. Had the windows down, the sun was out, and it was awesome. The next up, I got another one I got at Fanfare. This is the Cramps from 1994 with their song CD, Flame Job. I had never listened to this CD, to be honest. I am only really familiar with songs the Lord taught us and Bad Music for Bad People. I never really gave this much of a chance. I've heard some of the songs on it, like what was the one, Naked Girl Falling Down the Stairs. I guess that's it. Let's Get Effed Up. That's a good track. But yeah, this is cool. I listened to this in the car today as well. Good for those, This is the Cramps with bigger production, I would say. And so if you are looking for the Cramps, it's a little more kind of like lo-fi. You might not dig this as much, but I thought this was a great album. It's like the Cramps, but like with bigger production. The guitars sound a lot bigger. The drums sound more studio-ish, if you will. Cool, though. It still maintains that rock and roll kind of, rockabilly kind of sound, but bigger production. And the last CD I got is The Fix with Reach the Beach. This has One Thing Leads to Another, as well as Saved by Zero. I got this for $1 at a charity shop, or local charity shop, and I was kind of happy to add this to my collection. I was really big into this album when I was a teenager. This was one of my faves. Saved by Zero is a super cool song. Very dark. There's the guys in the band there. I don't know if the Fix are still going or not, but I do really like this album. And for $1, I thought, why the heck not add this to my collection? So, yeah. The book I got is Hollywood Babylon, yeah, by Kenneth Angers. This is this is a sort of infamous book. It's details the lurid backstories of some of your favorite early Hollywood stars and starlets. And I've been searching for this for quite a while. Found a nice copy of it, so added it to the collection. I've only read the first chapter, which was Jack Pickford and what's her name? I forget already. Olive Thomas. Yeah. A story about suicide and drugs and mystery. The next chapter up is Fatty Arbuckle, so I'll be kind of reading a chapter of this when I can here and there. But I do love me some old Hollywood stories. Now, there's some points of contention with this book. Some of the, I believe, now correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe some of the estates of these long deceased movie stars that there was some poking some holes in these stories, and that maybe some of them weren't totally true. That this might be a little bit sensationalized, but either way, I'm willing to do a deep dive. Let's get into the movies, kids, because I know that's what you're waiting for. First one up is a VHS. We got Amityville 1992. It's About Time. This is directed. This is from the director of Hellbound, Hellraiser 2. I don't know anything about this movie, but it's definitely not one I see around very often, so I decided to grab it. I've seen some of the later, well, Amityville 2 and 3, and you guys will probably see, horror fanatics out there will know better than I, but this is directed by Tony Randall. It stars Stephen Mocht, Sean Weatherly, Megan Ward, Damon Martin, Jonathan Penner, and Nita Talbot. And I don't recognize any of the other names. But yeah, this is from 1992, I guess. Amityville, 1992. Well, some rainy afternoon, maybe it'll prove to be fun. The next one up I got for cheap, Disturbia. I think I paid $1 for this. I've been having a hankering to rewatch this. I saw this when it came out on DVD, and I thought it was pretty fun. I'm not a big fan of that actor, Shia LaBeouf, but I picked this up for cheap. I've been looking for like just $1 copy because I wanted to rewatch it. Surprisingly, could not find this on streaming anywhere, so I did pick it up. Did rewatch it. It's fun. It's early, I think it's like 2007, 2008. If I'm not mistaken, 2007, yeah. It's a PG-14 movie here in Canada. It's like Rear Window, but replace Jimmy Stewart with Shia LaBeouf and add in some scantily clad girlfriend and some sort of bad 90s like new metal kind of stuff, and I don't know. It was okay. It's just a cheap thrill to me. Nowhere near as good as Rear Window, but in that same kind of vein if you like that thing. Continuing on with the rock and roll theme, I grabbed this copy of La Bamba from Value Village. See, I paid $3.99 for it. I loved this movie when I was a teenager. Again, like, it was cool because when I was a teenager in the early 80s, bear in mind a lot of that 50s and 60s was only like 20, 30 years old, so it was sort of back in vogue in the early to mid 80s. So a lot of these rock and roll stories were being turned into movies, and this Richie Valens story, La Bamba, featuring what's his face there, Lou Diamond Phillips. So this is a story of his life and death and his music. So cool. I'll be excited to revisit that one. I haven't seen that in a really long time. Oh, I was really happy to find this one. I don't know if I told you, but a couple months, maybe like 5 or 6 weeks ago, I was at a thrift store, and somebody had gotten to the movies before me, and they had a copy of this in their hand, and I was really ticked off because I've only got this on VHS, and I wanted to add it to my collection, so I got my chance. Look at the cool. I don't know if you can see it's like I don't know what you call that, like an imprint on the disc of the cover art. But yeah, this is Rutger Hauer, C. Thomas Howell, Jennifer Jason Leigh, and Jeffrey DeMunn, The Hitcher. I think this got remade in the 2000s. I might have seen it and realized quickly that it was not as good as the original, but happy to add that to my collection. These are ones that I bought brand new. In the next two, Intruder. This is the 30th anniversary remastered edition featuring starring Bruce Campbell and Sam Raimi. Directed by Scott Spiegel. This is a Full Moon Features release from 2019. But kids, don't let that get you down if the Full Moon freaks you out, because it's way better than most full moon movies I've ever seen. This I actually heard about through Dead Pit Radio YouTube channel. One of those guys was talking about this movie and saying how good it was. I gave it a shot, and wow, I was totally floored. I loved this movie. It was so good. This is about this is a slasher about a killer in a grocery store that's closed down for the night, and he's stalking the staff in the store. Excellent. Highly recommend it. And then the other one I got brand new. These were both from Sunrise Records in Dartmouth, Nova Scotia. Dartmouth. This is Mortuary, starring Mary McDonough, David Wallace, and Bill Paxton. This was directed by a person named Howard Avadis. I did watch this movie. I thought it was not that good, so this will probably be a one and done for me. I don't know. It wasn't very good, but Intruder, definitely check that out. The next one up, I got a upgrade from VHS. I got Highlander with Christopher Lambert and Sean Connery. This is the director's cut. Pretty basic, bare bones edition, but I saw this for the first time probably about 5 years ago, and I really, really liked it. This is directed by Russell Mulcahy. Anything else I can tell you about it? Song and additional music by Queen. Yeah, I will rewatch this now that I have it on DVD. Better quality than the VHS, but I like that movie. I think some people like Highlander 2 better. I know I saw the first two, but I did really like the first one, so I'll definitely rewatch this. This was a mistake. Godzilla 2000. What does it say? Get ready to crumble. I love me some Godzilla. The Toho Godzilla, that is. Although a guilty pleasure is definitely the 1998 Godzilla, but I definitely prefer the Japanese Godzilla. The mistake I made was that I already had this in a multi-feature set, so I'll probably be sadly getting rid of that one, but I did watch it. It's fun. It's pretty fun. Yep. The next one up, I got Lord of the Rings, the Ralph Bakshi animated film, directed by Ralph Bakshi. Yeah, I had this on VHS in my collection several years ago, and I don't know why I got rid of the VHS, but I've been looking for a copy. I've come across this DVD a few times, but it's always been really scratched up, so I haven't been able to re-add it to my collection. But I'm a pretty big Lord of the Rings fan. I like the Peter Jackson movies, so I've been looking for this one and the Hobbit animated one. The next one up I got is called Step Into Liquid. This is from the makers of The Endless Summer. This is a surf movie. The reason I got this, well, of course, I've been listening to a lot of Shadows and Ventures and Dick Dale and things like that. And I watched, I knew I was going to forget the name of that movie already. I watched Riding Giants, the documentary, this morning, and I watched it this morning, and then later today, I found this in a thrift store, so I decided to pick it up. This is the makers of Endless Summer. Step Into Liquid takes us on the terrifyingly monstrous waves of Oahu's North Shore to the Texas waters of the Gulf of Mexico to the shores of Ireland and Rapa Nui. Told through the voices of legends, pros, and everyday surfers alike, it is not just a film for surfers, but for anyone with an appreciation of the sport and an inkling for what it means to be stoked. So yeah, I grabbed this set. It's in pretty good condition. It's a 2-disc set, as you can see. There's a booklet here. Let's see what it does here. Yeah, it's just, I guess, I don't. Oh, it has a game that you can play on a DVD-ROM, but yeah, probably won't be doing that. But anyway, it's just a booklet with different stuff. Oh, check those dudes out. Ride the wild surf, baby. I've always had a sort of appreciation for surfing. I think it's pretty cool, and I love the history of surfing. And the Riding Giants documentary, if you're curious, is really, really well done. I believe it was done by that Peralta guy. I don't know anything about this, but I decided to grab it just because it's another surf documentary. And yeah, it's just go check it out. The next one up I got is The Man Called Flintstone. This is, as you can see on the front, it says the original 1966 theatrical release. I don't know anything about this. I grew up watching the Flintstone cartoon on TV, and I was always one of my favorites. But I have never seen this DVD. Don't know anything about it. I'm gonna guess it was probably from a Walmart bin, $5 bin at some point. But yeah, it's in really nice condition. Somebody bought this and obviously didn't like it, so I hope it's not too bad. I loved the Flintstones growing up. It was my favorite. Rocket Robin Hood, Scooby-Doo, all of those ones. And here's how old I am. I know a lot of people say, don't wish your years away. But here's how ancient I am. When I was in elementary school in Montreal, Quebec, every day at lunch, we took our lunch boxes to a room that was in a U shape around the classroom. And at the front of the classroom was a television set. And we were all herded into this room. We all sat at a desk with our lunch pails. I think I had I think it was a Star Wars lunch pail, if I'm not mistaken, but it could have been something else. Star Wars would sound like the obvious one, but I feel for some reason I had something different. Maybe it was Flintstones or Hardy Boys or something. But anyway, every day at lunch we were herded into this room, my class for some reason, along with another class, and they would turn the television on. And yes, kids, there was cable television running into the television in the classroom. And every day at 12 noon, we got to watch the Flintstones. And then if we were lucky, if it was crappy out, we got to watch Rocket Robin Hood at like 12:30. But if it wasn't crappy out, we could only catch the first few minutes of Rocket Robin Hood, and then we had to go outside and play on the playground. So I was always hoping for the rainy day because I was like, oh, this is the best. Not only do we get to eat our nice homemade lunches that our moms made, or our dads, or our caregivers, and then we got to watch the Flintstones, and then on the lucky rainy days, we got to watch Rocket Robin Hood. How cool is that? Now, I'm sure they don't do that with kids anymore, but that was the 70s, kids. Yeah. And so every day, Fred and Wilma and all the cast would hop onto the television set, and we were thrilled while we ate our lunch. Anyway, I'll probably check this out. I'm kind of excited to check it out. I don't know anything about it. Speaking of Scooby-Doo, and this is really weird, you guys, because if you've watched my Purge videos, which I put up last month, I was purging this movie, Scooby-Doo and Scrappy-Doo Season 1, because the DVD I bought from Value Village was a Region 2 DVD, and it wouldn't play on my player. I know. I was so upset. I go into the thrift store today. Here's the set again, but it's Region 1, so it'll play on my player. And it's like in minty shape, so really excited. I'm going to check that out. I love me some 70s cartoons, and so checking that out. We're almost near the end. I know this video is running long, but gosh, if I hadn't spent so much time talking about Gary Busey. I found this movie for $1. It's Horns with Daniel Radcliffe. This is a film directed by Alexandra Aja, who also directed The Hills Have Eyes, the remake, and Piranha 3D. And he also did Crawl, which, if you've been watching my channel for the last year or so, you know I bought that movie on a blind buy and loved that movie so much. So I'm curious to check this out. I love Daniel Radcliffe. I love that he's standing up to that transphobic piece of that wrote Harry Potter. You know, that Rowling person. But yeah, Daniel Radcliffe and the other two kids from Harry Potter. I know they're not kids anymore, but you know, J.K. Rowling, just go to hell, please, and thank you. But thank you to Daniel Radcliffe and the other two cats from Harry Potter for standing up and saying, oh, go to hell with your transphobic attitude. But yeah, this is a mature Daniel Radcliffe. What else did I see of his? I don't know. I always get this movie mixed up with that Walrus movie, Tusk. I don't know why I think because they came out around the same time, I always get it mixed up with that one. So I'm going to check that out. I don't know anything about it. Could be good, could be bad. Speaking of things I don't know anything about and could be good, could be bad, I got this Afro Samurai Resurrection disc. Again, I got this at a local charity shop, picked it up for $1. I don't know anything about this. It's like some kind of cool like samurai cartoon or something. I don't know. I guess, yeah. I see the characters are holding like samurai swords, so I'm gonna check this out. Don't know anything about it. This is, oh, okay. So when you open it up, it's got a bunch of anime and stuff. I'm not a big anime person except for like the cute ones like My Neighbor Totoro or Totoro, yeah. Akira, again, I grew up in the 80s, so, but I don't know a lot of these newer ones. Well, these are probably not considered new anymore, but yeah, I don't know any of these. Oh, One Piece, I've heard of that one before. There's one on here called Save Me Lollipop. Or Fruits Basket, I've heard of that one. Dragon Ball Z, of course. But yeah, I don't know a lot of these ones. Full Metal Alchemist, I've heard of that one. But yeah, it's got a great big fold out. So this Afro Samurai, I don't know anything about it. This is the 2-disc special edition director's cut. Yeah, so I don't know much about this. Oh, it also comes with a booklet. That's kind of cool. I did grab this for $1 because I was just like, this looks like it, even if I don't like it, maybe it would be worth maybe a couple bucks. Maybe somebody out there would really love to have this. Or I can pass it on to somebody who really likes anime. Yeah, don't know anything about it. This is a pretty nice booklet, though. It's got a lot of like preliminary sketches and things like that. It does look like kind of something I might like. I like Samurai Jack. Is it? I don't know. Maybe I associated it with like, RZA or that kind of thing, but maybe I'm totally off. Oh my God. Okay. There's a behind the scenes interview with RZA. So maybe that's why I made the connection with it, because I really liked Man with the Iron Fist. And, I think he had some, he was in Ghost Dog, the Jim Jarmusch movie. So anyway, check it out. I got 2 more for you and then I'm out. Let's go back to some more rock and roll. I got this Roy Orbison. This is also from Fanfare in New Minas, Nova Scotia. Roy Orbison's greatest hits. Probably one of my favorite singers pretty much one of my favorite singers of all time. This is like, I didn't really actually look at this too closely, but there's all the, I love Roy Orbison. Like, no, I know you guys probably say, oh, you love everything, but no, I do really love Roy Orbison. My stepdad used to have Roy Orbison's greatest hits. We used to listen to it on a Sunday afternoon while we played board games. And I just, like, from then on, I was like, Roy, I just love Roy. So this has complete live performances. It also has music videos, Crying with Katie Lang, She's a Mystery to Me. It has an electronic press kit. And it has all of his big hits, Pretty Woman, Only the Lonely, Blue Bayou, In Dreams. So good, so good. So yeah, I'll be checking that out. I do have a couple of Roy Orbison DVDs. I have the 1982, I think he's at like, what is it? I don't think it's a Grand Ole Opry, but it's one of those midnight kind of music shows. I forget now, but it's so good. Anyway, be checking that one out. And then the last one I got today, or in this video, is from the MGM Midnight Movies collection. I paid a little bit for it, so I'm going to peel the price tag off so you guys don't go, oh my God, you paid that much for that? It was a bit expensive, but it's also in really nice condition. And I've been kind of trying to add these midnight movies to my collection. I already have like a pretty nice, sizable collection of these midnight movies from MGM. But this one I didn't have. So I actually bought that movie May, which I think I showed in a previous thrifting haul. The DVD actually kept freezing when I tried to watch it, so I traded it back in and I picked this one up instead. And this is The Monster That Challenged the World. Check that out. So this is just right in line with everything I've been into recently. Surf rock, surf documentaries, old rock and roll, monster movies, Godzilla. This one just came along at the right time, so I decided to add it to the collection. I did watch this one. It's not great, but I do love me some 50s monster movies. Like you guys know, I'm not super into like B movies, but I do have a soft spot for 50s B movies. So the monster that challenged the world. And yeah, these are always nice nice additions. There's nothing extra in it, but there's usually some nice special features on it. Although this one actually doesn't have any, but an hour and 24 minutes from the year 1957, black and white. The monster in it is sort of sad looking, but again, I just have a sort of a weakness for those 50s B monster movies. So that's it for today, guys. Whoa, that was quite a haul. I've been kind of building this up for a while because just because it's been such slim pickings lately, but was lucky enough to have some stuff. So shout out to, if you live in Nova Scotia, go support Fanfare in New Minas. It's a great little record store. They carry DVDs now as well and Blu-rays, t-shirts, flags, posters, smoking accoutrement, old records, all kinds of cool stuff. Great little shop, so go check it out. And also shout out to Chris at Sunrise Records in the Mi'kmaq Mall. I haven't changed that yet, but it's still called the Mi'kmaq Mall in Dartmouth, Nova Scotia. Great little, I mean, I like Sunrise Records. I worked there briefly myself. They always have some cool stuff. Cool physical media, movies, Blu-rays, 4Ks, vinyl, CDs, all that cool stuff. So check them out. Yeah, I've been really kind of, I mean, I'm not, you know, like there's this big thing about the United States right now onto Canada, and I've been definitely trying to support my local stores more and buying more Canadian stuff. Most physical media, I mean, a lot of it's manufactured in Mexico, even though the films are obviously made in Hollywood or, but a lot of films are made in Canada as well. So it's a little, it's like, I'm struggling with it a little bit, but I guess if it's used and I'm supporting local charity shops, not so much Value Village because they're owned by an American company, but the SPCA charity shop near me, Fanfare, Sunrise Records, which I believe is a Canadian company. So it's trying to support some of those stores more and less Amazon and Value Village and things like that. But it's, yeah, I'm a little torn as well because you want to support our local workers too, but shop local where you can. And there's lots of amazing places here where I live in Nova Scotia. So I've been definitely going to a lot of those places more recently. So it's very exciting and finding some cool stuff. So Canadian friends out there, support local. I'm sure most of my friends already are, but and a shout out to my American friends who love Canadians as well. I know you're there and I know you feel sad about what's happening, but big shout out to AOC and Bernie Sanders just putting up that front. And yeah, things are wild, kids out there. So, you know, take good care of yourselves. Support local organizations where you can. In Canada, we have a big election coming up. So, you know, there's some ways you can support some good folks. And of course, I encourage you to vote however you want. But keep in mind the people that are doing things for Canada and the people that aren't. And yeah, that's about it for today. I'm not a political person, so don't get all on my case. I'm just, you know, it's just, it's funny, you know, rocking in the free world. It's not actually like a really positive song, but keep on rocking in the free world, as Nardwar says up here in Canada, up in the Great White North, or up in the Great North, maybe. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts on those movies I picked up and some of those CDs and that book and cassette even. Should I talk more about Buddy Holly? No. But anyway, let me know in the comments below if you like this video. If you like this kind of content, consider giving me the thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed already, consider subscribing to my channel. I try to do a video once or twice a week, but I've been kind of slowing down. Cycling season is coming up, so I'll be on my bike a lot and, you know, just riding that cycling wave instead of that surfing wave. But, you know, like surfing, skateboarding, and cycling, I always kind of like try to sort of see those kind of like, there's a bit of camaraderie between those things. It's all about being free and just, getting out there and enjoying the sun. And oh my God, I'm off on a rant now. I'm on a ramble. But anyway, that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. 40-minute long video. God love you if you made it to the end. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. And until next time, take good care of yourselves and your loved ones and your family and your friends and your community. And until next time, I will see you at the video store or at the thrift store or just out and about somewhere. But until then, take good care and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.